Hey guys, this is Hell Hades. This is a Raid Shadow Legends video. Guys, I did say I'd do one more follow-up video on WIXWELL, basically talking about whether I felt like he could fit into high-level Hydra teams. I will just quickly call out, I was going to do like a entry-level team and then a high-level team, but I'll be honest, if you're a new player, like long-term, WIXWELL is going to be great for you, okay? But short-term, if you're doing Hydra and you're doing like Hydra normal, pretty much all you're going to do is A1, the Head of Decay, throw out somebody doing like HP burn, like a Mordecai or someone like that, and then get a few smacks in with Rathalos. And you should be able to do your first chest pretty comfortably, and he will provoke that Head of Decay really well. Even unbooked, you know, he'll do, and you just reset if he doesn't do it the first time, yeah? Unbooked, he will do that well. Because of the rest of his kits with the shields and stuff, you might be able to get to the maximum chest in normal. But, and this is the big but here, if that's the level you're at, Shizzo can do the same job. Okay, he could do the same provoke. You might need to reset a couple of times or whatever. And he could also be like a head of Mischief tank short term. This guy long term is way more valuable to your account. But short term, for like very early game Hydra, I would say this guy does the same job for you as a Shizzo, which you get for free. Okay, so just bear that in mind. But in terms of what we've got going on here, so I've tried to build a team which is pretty stable. I've got no Reviver, which is a watch out, I guess. I've got Laz in there, who I'm going to use in his kind of like normal form, basically giving me block debuffs, giving me block buffs on the enemy. And if something goes wrong, he could actually strip some of the buffs off the enemy. We've also got increased attack from him and strengthen, so that's a nice couple of buffs. Bearing in mind, our WIXWELL is going to be extending buffs. They're two good buffs to have. Strengthen, just straight up take less damage. WIXWELL's bringing complementary buffs to him. So he's bringing my increased defense and shield. And then he's obviously also doing the decreased attack, which is really important. I've got a double up of decreased attack, but I've also got my drop defense in Missionarchy, and he's bringing Hex as well as burns, so some damage. All damage coming from Acrizia. I've got myself an Earstrid in here, the recent fusion, who's super good, honestly. So she's bringing nothing there. She's bringing decreased speed and weaken, which is missing from this team. She's also given me increased speed here and turn me to fill. Double up of the increased attack, honestly. And then she's basically my primary healer in this team. So interesting to see if she does enough healing. I've then got Varl in, who I've recently fell in love with, and he does a good job in Hydra. So not really using him for his debuffs, I'm using him for his damage. So in terms of builds, I'll show you them quick. So Laz is more in a support build here. Quite quick, 260 odd speed. Good accuracy to land his stuff. We've got Missionarchy. It's been moved into like a merciless build. So 6-piece, which means that we ignore defense and we get a chance to get steals back. I've got like 400 odd accuracy there. We have got Acrizia, who have not changed her build actually. She's in a relentless build, just built to do damage. We've got Varl, who I've moved into a lethal build now. So yeah, on recommendation actually from you guys saying you should go lethal. I've actually got lethal and 4-piece merciless in the mix. So could be pretty interesting to see how that goes. My WIXWELL, who's the main reason for the video, I guess, I've just done stats over sets really. So high speed, we've got 410 accuracy, 545 resistance. He's my main tank for the Head of Mischief because he does his counter-attack buff on himself. I've also given him 1-piece blood shield so that we've got an extra an extra buff on him as well. So 9 times out of 10, he should be the target for that Head of Mischief. But hopefully we keep those heads fairly dead anyway. And he's my provoker. Is that everybody? I think I've shown all the builds. Earstrid is just like nothing special about her gear set. She's actually got, no, there was something special. She's got a taunt set, but I probably don't need that in this build, in this setup. So I just didn't change her build. But yeah, pretty quick. So I've basically got 2 champions here that can basically protect us from buff stripping. So we've got Laz with high resistance, and I've got WIXWELL with high resistance. Because Laz puts Perfect Veil on himself, WIXWELL puts the counter attack on himself. So should be fine. So we're going against Nightmare. I've got pretty much the buffs and the debuffs that I want on my squads. I will say I do need to just interject a little bit. So we're going to just go in and get some smacks going on. Obviously, I'll get drop defense out nice and early. So I just want to A1 here and get the provoke on straight away. Then we can basically let this start to roll. I'm interested to see as well, does WIXWELL AI, once he's got his abilities out of the way like this, we should start to see our abilities going up nicely. Does his AI focus the head of decay in terms of provoke? She's got to provoke away anyway with Hydra there, so we're not going to see. I'm just interested in... So he's going to do his buffs again anyway. Okay, we're fine. Because really what we want to do, even if you're doing full auto, it's kind of never full auto if you're doing Nightmare. You know, you still can't... Saying that, he did A1 there, so he A1'd the head of decay, but you still kind of want to target... I should have targeted it. You still want to target like the heads really that are most important to you. You know, and still have some sort of control. I will say, like most of my teams, I literally just let them run and hope that the AI's done well. But if you're really trying to get some, you know, maximized results going on, then, you know, just targeting heads here and there makes a massive difference, honestly. So we're in pretty good shape. I guess what I'll do is I'll let this run, see how we get on. And, yeah, I guess we'll see what sort of impact WIXWELL's having. What I do like is because we've got no Head of Torment out there so far, we're starting to get this intercept buff now going across the team. This is something I really like about his design. It makes a massive difference to us when the Head of Torment comes out. We've basically got a couple of protections against True Fear already, and we've also got the protection against things like the Provoke from the Head of Wrath. So there's a whole bunch of reasons why I actually think his kit is really interesting. I'm not saying he's like the best Hydra champion that ever existed, by the way, but I do think he's capable of performing at this kind of like higher level, you know, not competing with like Trunder teams or, you know, some of the real high damage teams, but definitely for people that are trying to build up teams that can get to, you know, a certain level in the game and, you know, playing Hydra, I guess, as it was intended to be played, which is not really what the best teams do nowadays. I think he's pretty effective. So let's let it play out and see what sort of damage we do. Okay, just to keep this moving here. So I'm not quite going to hit the turn limit. I actually lost my Hydra after about 1,300 turns, which you will know if you play Hydra to any sort of extent. Like, you lose one and the team starts to crumble. But interestingly here, so WIXWELL was not built for damage. He did no damage. Same with Laz. Laz was not built for damage, did no damage. But obviously good damage across the board from Atrizia, Val, and Missionarchy. I don't know, guys. Like, WIXWELL, I think, as part of one of these teams, is very effective. Is he best in slot? I actually, you know, watching this run through, there's times where we don't get a provoke away because he obviously is prioritizing his other skills. There's times where, you know, the head of tournament comes out. His skill to block things like the True Fear is effective, but it's not as good as bringing someone in who does that. But he is bringing Fat Shields. He is bringing AoE decrease attack. He's bringing that provoke more so if you are in control of it rather than full auto, I would say. He does it, but he doesn't do it as effectively as, you know, someone like a Morley. But he does bring a lot. He does bring a lot. And obviously we've got a nightmare team here, which is full of good champions, but they're all champions that are doing their own role. And he fits into that in his own role. So effectively, like, he's better than a Skull Lord Vargal or a Kantra or, you know, a lot of the other provoke champions. So yeah, I think he's really solid, but I don't think he is like broken good. I think he's just really solid. So anyway, yeah, and that's with me having a lot of tools at my disposal. Like, if you are a player who's been playing, like, say, 6 months and you don't have, you know, most of the solid provokers in your squad, well, then I think you'd be up there as, you know, kind of top tier. So yeah, it comes down to what you want, really. But definitely a great champion. Definitely particularly good in Hydra, and, you know, worthy of like a 4 to 5 star out of 5 rating. But yeah, not insane. Is my overall. Don't know if that's helping anyone. But there you go, guys. I've been Hell Hades. Have yourself a great day. I'll see you soon.